What's up, traders? Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, September 5th, and I've got yet another weekly market profile forecast for you guys for both ES and NQ futures. Now, we are going to go ahead and start on the ES session profile, move our way over to the weekly, and then get into NQ after we are done with our ES analysis. So let's waste no time and dive right in here. As I'm sure you guys are well aware, today was a banking holiday in the U.S., Labor Day. So that is why we had substantially lower volume. You can see here that we only had 40,000 contracts traded compared to, up 2 million on Friday and 1.8 million on Thursday there. So substantially lower volume. Nobody's trading during the holiday. Not too surprising. But we have a lot to go over in regards to some major inflection points and areas of interest moving into the rest of the week. So you can see here on ES, what I'm going to be looking at most immediately are the levels from Friday and Thursday. Okay, currently we are testing just above value area high from the Thursday regular trading hour session. That is the September 1st regular trading hour session to be exact. Now, of course, still not a ton of volume in this overnight session because we just opened up and things are just getting started, but that doesn't mean that we don't have major levels to look at. So you can see value area high here from the first. We also have the overnight profile, that most recent overnight profile from Sunday into today. And that overnight high is going to be 39.4225. Now, for what it's worth, I still probably would put a little bit less weight just because we do have less volume taking place in this most recent overnight session. But, it is even more than what we had in today's RTH session or the very short session. So I think that this level is still valid, but it should be considered that this is a profile from an overnight session moving into basically a banking holiday. So with that said, there's not a ton of variation between this value area high and this overnight high. So consider 39.42 an important area. If we can get accepted above 39.41, 39.42, we're likely to move up and test this overnight low from the September 1st into September 2nd extended trading hour session at 39.55 and a quarter. And if we can move above that, I like a move into that September 1st regular trading hours high, 39.71. Some good confluence there with the initial balance low from Friday's session at 39.7225. Now, of course, if we do get accepted above prior value from Thursday, above this overnight low from the first into the second, then I would indeed be looking up into 39.71, 39.83, and then, of course, the test of Friday's value area high at 39.93. Now, this is more granular from a session profile level. We can go over here and we can see that on the weekly profile, we have a weekly naked POC. Weekly naked POC, point of control to be precise, at 39.8350. So some good confluence around that 83 level. You can see that's the point of control from the August 31st regular trading hours session. So on a weekly perspective, if we can move and hold above 39.83, that opens up first and foremost a test of last week's value area high at 4,013.50, and then a test of that prior weekly low, regular trading hours low to be precise, at 4,027.75. Now, if we get accepted back into this prior weekly range, that is the week of August 22nd, that is going to open up a move back towards last week's high at 4,064. And of course, we've got some higher levels to work on if we can move and hold above with acceptance. Now, on the downside, if we cannot get to or get accepted above last week's POC, we've got last week's low. That's really going to be the most recent major level that I'm looking at. You can consider this monthly volume composite at 39.27, an area of interest there. Just below that, we have a weekly low from July 25th, also the value area low from that same week, 39.13, and then we do have 39.0350, which is last week's low. So below, if we do break last week's low, major areas that I would be looking for is the weekly high from July 11th at 38.84. If we break that, looking at the weekly low from July 18th, the week of July 18th to be precise, at 38.2025. And then we've got these lower levels here, value area low from that same July 11th weekly profile, and then the weekly low, 37.2375 from that same July 11th weekly profile. So that is kind of what I'm thinking moving into this week. Obviously, we've got a short week because today did not have a lot of activity, and of course, it was an early close. But we've got some major areas to keep an eye on. So I hope that the ES traders take value from just peeking at these weekly levels, these regular trading hours, weekly levels to be precise. I find immense value in them. And again, like I mentioned in last week's video, the regular trading hours levels hold a lot of weight for me. So that's why I'm really only concerned with these RTH levels as far as the weekly goes. So keep an eye on these levels, 39.27 to the downside. Again, that's the monthly volume POC, monthly volume composite point of control. And then 39.03 to the downside. Then we've got 38.84, 38.20, 37.78, 37.23. And then on the upside, 39.83, 40.13, 40.27. And then we've got some levels to work on above that if we can get accepted. So with all of that said, let's go on and move over to the NQ session profile first and foremost. It's going to be very, very similar to ES, as you guys already know. A lot of confluence between ES and NQ, especially from that bird's eye view when we take a look at both the session and weekly profiles. So just like ES, I'm going to be looking at that overnight high, most recent overnight high, not the one that just opened, but the one from September 4th into this morning's session. So if we can get accepted above 12,149 on NQ, that's when I will be looking for a move up to 190, 12,232, and then up to the initial balance low from Friday at 12,269. Of course, acceptance above that opens up these higher levels, and we'll also have to watch reaction at every one of these levels to look for that high probability trade opportunity. So on the downside for NQ from a session profile basis, if we cannot get accepted above this overnight high at 149, going to look for a move most immediately to Friday's POC at 12,134. Then I will be looking for a move to this overnight point of control at 12,102. And then if we cannot get some support or catch some bids at that level, look for a move to the overnight low, 12,054. And then, of course, the Friday's low, 12,040. If we break that, Thursday's low is very, very likely and beyond to the downside. So let's waste no time. Let's pop on over to the weekly profile on NQ and just take a look at what we've got going on here. Again, very similar. We have last week's POC, 12,307. Good confluence with some levels up here. So you can see 306 is the point of control from that August 31st session. Very, very similar to what we were looking at on ES, but we've got 150 points to go before that is a higher probability area that we visit. So from most immediate levels that I'm looking for on the weekly, 12,212, 12,210, you could call it. Those are two weekly highs that we have stacking up from June 27th weekly profile and then the July 4th weekly profile. So if we can move and hold above that, you can see we've got a high volume node right here as well on the monthly volume composite. So I'm looking for at least a test of this area this week. If we can't get a test of that area, I mean, you guys already know things are going to be pretty ugly because that's only 70 points above where we are. But if we can get accepted above these levels, then that definitely opens up a move to 12,307. And when I say it opens up a move, that just means that it increases the probability, right? It's basically like breaking these doors of liquidity down or breaking these walls of liquidity down, right? If we can get absorption above these highs, if we can get acceptance above these highs that line up with this high volume node on the monthly, then it's going to increase the probability significantly that we visit and close this naked POC here. If we get accepted above 12.3, then it's going to open up a move to these prior weekly levels. You can see 12,384 is the value area low from the June 6th weekly session, so quite a while ago. And then we've got some stacked up point of controls here from July 18th weekly and the July 25th weekly, and that is also the value area high from last week. So 12,427, that is going to be a major, major area of interest if we can get accepted above 12.3. So on the upside, 12.3, 12,380, and then a move to 12,425, 12,430. I think that is likely if we can get that acceptance. If we do not, and we get rejection from 12.2, or if we can't even get above that, then I think it's very likely we're revisiting these lower levels from prior weekly sessions. 1272, of course. 1217 is going to be a very important level because that's last week's low, right? If we break last week's low, this low from the July 18th weekly profile is kind of staring us square in the face here. So I don't think that it will be out of the question. I actually think it's pretty darn likely that if we break this last week's low at 12,017, that is going to open up that move back down to 11,850. But as we always say, one level at a time. It's very important to just take it one level at a time, one step at a time, because we can have price create support or resistance at any one of these levels. And more importantly, we can have high probability trade opportunity at any one of these levels, whether it's acting as support or breaking and, retesting as resistance, for instance. So I think that I have covered all bases here, upside levels and downside levels on both NQ and ES from a session and a weekly perspective. So I hope that this information helps you guys prepare for the week ahead. I hope that you find high probability trade opportunity from and at these levels and from this analysis. And of course, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop some comments down below. Now, if you guys are interested in learning more about how I use Market Profile on a daily basis, if you guys are interested in learning or watching me trade on a daily basis in our private Discord, along with acquiring the TTN Proprietary Indicator Package and or the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, please feel free to check out the tradingnetwork.io, where you can find access to all of our products. And you can also get, for a limited time, 20% off on all of our products, excluding one-on-one mentorship. So that is the indicators, that is the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, that is the Discord access, and the packages that we offer with a combination of those products. As always, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you for being a part of the Trading Network, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Much love.